The last time that we upgraded the audio in my Golf, I was incredibly disappointed. I lowballed someone on Marketplace for some fancy speakers, and sadly, they just did not work. So I have learned my lesson, and I will no longer be lowballing people on Marketplace to get... yeah, I couldn't do it. I lowballed someone again and got new speakers. So we're gonna be upgrading these. My absolute trash A-pillars are finally going to go in the bin, and also getting a front sub. After the last video, Edward from PS Sound actually reached out to me to give a bunch of tips on how to do A-pillar fabrication. And I also talked to him about how I wasn't totally happy with the mid-bass in my Golf, and they convinced me that I just need another subwoofer. The plan is actually to install this subwoofer in the passenger footwell right up here. We'll have to cut a hole in this carpet, but then it can go something like that. Now, the reason that you want to do this is because a sub in the rear actually can't take over those sort of like 90 to 60 hertz region, because the waves come up, bounce off the windshield, and then destructively interfere right where your head is. So there's nothing that you can do to make it sound better. You might be concerned that this will really eat into the passenger's footroom, but it shouldn't be too bad. This right here is the foam that came out, and it turns out the volume of this is actually about 9 liters, and the sub that we're putting in only needs about 9 liters of space behind it. So we should be able to very, very minimally interfere with the passenger legroom, but we're gonna look more into that later. Let's get these ugly ass yellow speakers out of my car. To replace my broken focals, I got these Blam signatures off of Marketplace. Once again, after lowballing a guy, of course, and they look absolutely fantastic. I took a lot more time to make sure that these are all good before I bought them. And also, I bought them while it was like light outside, so I could actually see the condition. Wow. Blam speakers are actually made by Guy Bonneville, who used to be an engineer at Focal and then spun off and made his own business. So I'm hoping that they will have the aspects of those speakers that I really liked, while not being yellow and super in your face. When I made these A-pillars last time, one thing that I was secretly really hoping is that you don't actually need mids for really good audio. I was hoping you could just not do it, but I spent a whole bunch of time playing around with crossovers and stuff between the woofers and the tweeters and turning the mids on and off, and oh my god, do they ever make such a difference, the vocal clarity. So we're making A-pillars again, let's get to it. The last time that I took these A-pillars off and complained about it a bunch, it was really nice to see Audi and VW techs chime in the comments and also say that they're absolutely horrendous.
And by the way, you should always disable your battery before do anything with airbags. And that annoying pillar just happened to have one airbag.
Okay, there we go. For the A-pillars, I got some new ones from the Wreckers, and also I 3D printed some little holders for the mid and the tweeter. But one of the things that annoyed me the most about the old ones is the fact that the mid was just not the correct orientation at all. You can see focals over there. It looks like absolute crap. So this time I made a 2-piece mid thing. So there's a little slot in here, it bolts into there, but then you have, I don't know, like 10-15 degrees of adjustment so that we should be able to get these perfectly aligned. Okay, let's see where these want to live. Have I mentioned that I hate the A-pillars in a Golf yet?
No,
not at all, not once. Okay, I should probably do that 50 more times. I did ask the Wreckers if they had any worse condition A-pillars, and they didn't. These are the worst that they had, and they are basically mint. So I feel a little bit bad. Actually, not bad at all. This is gonna be so cool when it's done. After some sanding, it's time to cut into these A-pillars. I know that I want the speaker to be somewhere right around here, although where exactly it's going to go, I don't know. We'll have to figure that out with the A-pillar in the car. But for now, I need to cut a hole. All right, I wonder if that's big enough. Oh, that's hot. To attach this, we need to mock it up inside of the car. Now, I could just put it in sort of like that, have it right flat, but The aiming isn't perfect, so I'm going to move it out just a tiny bit. I don't need to have it directly at us. I'm going to cross it over before it starts beaming, but I think somewhere right around there should be perfect. And now I need Andy's help to attach it. Me and Andy just spent an absolute eternity just looking at these speakers and moving them around, but I think that we have them where they need to be. Now we just have to hope that all the crazy glue stays in place when we take these out. Now it's time to actually create the foundation of these pillar pods. And to do that, we use popsicle sticks and super glue. This allows us to build up an area around it. And this is actually the method that the pros use. Then you cover it in a whole bunch of fiberglass reinforced Bondo. And with any luck, it'll look pretty good. The big difference that I want to do compared to the old ones is make sure that they're possible to wrap. So you can kind of see here, we had to like cut the Alcantara there and stuff. And that's because a lot of the features on this just weren't possible to wrap around without, you know, cutting and stitching the stuff back together. So I want to try and avoid stuff like this area here where it sort of like goes in, or right there, you can see it sort of like went inside and curved around. That's just literally impossible to wrap properly. So I'm not gonna do that again. All of the popsicle sticks are done. We have this nice little shape right here that hopefully will be easier to wrap. And now it is Bondo time. I'm gonna go over it first with the fiberglass reinforced body filler so that it's nice and strong. And then I'll come back in with the fast dry filler to kind of build it up, and hopefully I don't need to do too much sanding on the fiberglass stuff because it's just awful. Andy, are you excited for the Bondo smell?
Heck yeah.
Wow, that looks truly vile. I don't even know how to describe this other than just terrible.
It's like playing with poop.
If your poop looks like this, go see a doctor, please. You know how every sort of like RPG has the thing that like infects the people and everything goes bad and then you have to stop the bad thing? This looks like the thing that happens to you when the bad thing happens. Add a bit of hardener. We are now on a time limit before it starts really hardening, so I'm just gonna start sanding it. And now for the fun bit of sanding. I need to remove some of the interior bits here so that I can get a bunch of Bondo in there and make sure it's really solid. And it's just gonna be awful. Mask on, glasses on, ear protection on, friggin' vacuum on, extraction fan on. Oh, I can't wait to be super itchy after this. Many hours of body filler and sanding later, and these are good to go. Now, you don't need to worry about making this absolutely perfect, like it's not a paint prep sort of thing. I was a little bit worried about that last time, but it turns out the Alcantara just goes over and hides any small imperfections. So sort of like this little thing right here, I'm just not gonna worry about it. Not just because the wrap is gonna go over it and you won't notice it, but also like when you're in the car, you can't even see it, so who cares? Now I just need to thread the holes using some heat set inserts. These you just chuck on the end of a soldering iron and then push them down in. By the way, these were printed with the Prusa CFPC blend, so we have it at 100% infill, which should allow us to have no problems if I accidentally nick it while sanding, and also it'll be incredibly strong and sturdy for the speakers.
I tried to break them, I failed.
Yeah, they're really strong. Oh, now it's time for the scary bit that's gonna either make or break this. So we need to wrap these. We're going to be using the PS sound method where one person holds the roll and the other one lays it down and you go across. Then when you get to these sort of bumps and spots, you just hit it with the heat gun a tiny bit and hopefully it stretches over and looks all nice. Oh, I'm scared. We have 2 tries for each one. Well, that took us about 7 minutes, and in that time, we have pretty much perfectly wrapped this. Last time, we spent 4 hours at it, and we're not successful at all. It looked terrible. So the geometry of your speaker holders here, that's everything. Not a single crease. We are friggin' pros.
We should wrap in their car now.
Just the felt golf. Wow, that was so much easier. I can't believe it. I was so scared. All right, our speakers are almost ready to go in. I have them wired up for the most part. I did use crimp connectors this time because you guys got mad at me for soldering onto the leads before. And I have found that crimp connectors are way more reliable once you get an actual like good crimp tool. This is a Milwaukee one. I had the absolute cheapest before and they'd always fall off. Yeah, it turns out good tools like matter sometimes. The tweeters do have base blockers. These are really important if you're going fully active, because if you accidentally send a full range signal through these, they will explode and then you'll be really sad because your expensive tweeters have died. Oh my God, this looks so much better.
Carbon fiber.
Yeah, good old carbon fiber.
With speaker grill.
All right, it's tweeter time. I think that this ring on the back is gonna be super duper annoying just because it was super duper annoying even before I had like the whole pillar thing. So let's see how this goes. Oh, this is a much tighter fit now. The Alcantara is on there. Oh dear. Okay, so I need to aim this so it's the same level as these ones. I did put these into the car briefly so that they should be pretty much level now. I used a little bit of adjustment, even though I basically nailed it even without the adjustment. Don't want to pat myself on the back too much, but you know, much improved. I left myself this little slot in the 3D print so that I could tighten down the ring. I probably could have made it twice as big, but at least I added the slot. Okay, all right. Okay, I think that's good. Holy shit, do these ever look better? All right, the A pillars are going in. I just need to connect them up here and then add a bit of foam tape around the Wagos so that they can not rattle all around. That was what, like maybe 45 seconds when the last ones took like 10 minutes. They're a lot easier to get in too.
Yeah. Also, they do look really good.
Oh yeah. One sec. Here's the old one. Complete ass, looks terrible. There's the new one, freaking beautiful. There's no terrible tears or ugly yellow. Frig, those look good. Huge thanks to iFixit for sponsoring today's video. iFixit's portable soldering station has seriously leveled up our soldering game. Whether it's installing lights, speakers, dash cams, or a simple electrical repair, having a soldering iron that is portable has simply made working on our cars easier. There's no more need to have a power cord snaking into your car and a soldering station sketchily placed along your dash. All that you need is this right here, and with the 55 watt-hour battery capacity, you can continue to solder for 8 hours straight. The power station can output 100 watts to quickly heat up the soldering iron even when you're outside in the winter, and once you're done soldering, it also acts as a power bank, so you can just charge your phone with it, or a laptop. Wow! And charging rapidly. The soldering iron also has an onboard gyroscope to automatically detect falls and rests between use to automatically idle and prevent the tip from oxidizing. Then it detects when you pick it up, so it's at temp by the time that you have it on your part. So check out the iFixit soldering toolkit at our link down below. Now it's time to upgrade the door speakers. These Blam Audio ones look absolutely incredible with the carbon fiber, and although, you know, carbon fiber doesn't really matter for how it sounds, it looks so sick.
But it's carbon fiber.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
If you can say no to a carbon fiber, you're not a real car guy.
To remove the door cards in a Golf, it's pretty simple. Pop off this trim piece, then there's 2 bolts and one little weird twist it 90 degrees thing, and then you can pop the whole thing off.
There we go.
I can't wait to get these Hertz Melee Pro speakers out of here. Not because they're bad speakers, but because they're completely awesome speakers, and I really want to join them up with the tweeters that I have and use them in something else. All right, here we go. And of course it doesn't fit. Frig, if there's one thing that speaker brands love, it's making 6.5-inch speakers, just completely different sizes every time, but deburring tool should be able to take care of this.
That's pretty far.
Yeah, we might need something more aggressive than a deburring tool for this. All right, there we go, haha. That made an absolutely massive mess, jeez. Oh well, I need to clean my Golf anyway. It hasn't been a pavement princess since we did the lift. With door speakers, it's really important to add some foam around them so that they can seal against the door card. If you don't do that, then you'll have waves bouncing around in your door and they'll sound like crap. Well, more crap than door speakers do anyway, because they're in a door. My plan is to redo the wiring of the amps and stuff to make it look better and be a tiny bit less sketchy. But before we do that, I want to just simply go in and make sure that everything works up in the front, because it's just so much easier to troubleshoot if you know that everything worked before you frigged around with all the wiring. All right, let's see here. Have some music playing. I'm gonna unmute them one by one. So sub, that's known working. Yeah, so sub works. Both door speakers are good. Mids are good. Tweeters. Yeah. It all seems to be working. It already sounds pretty friggin' good. That's how you know it's a good audio install. You can use tuning to make something that sounds great, absolutely amazing, but you can't use tuning to make something that sounds bad sound good. So this is a really good first step. Yeah. It's gonna rock. All right. Let's look at the front sub, and to do that, we have to go back in time. We're heading to Vancouver Island so that we can 3D scan the passenger footwell and make sure that our front sub is going to be fantastic. To be very sure though that we do it correctly, we have enlisted Finn from Borin 3D.
Hey. This guy uses infrared light instead of blue laser or something like that, which lets us capture a lot of data really quickly at the expense of a bit of accuracy and resolution.
Very cool. And it looks like it got really good detail up in here too. I was a bit scared that it wouldn't.
Yeah, it did pretty well in here, like a couple of gaps that it'll close. Yeah, no, there's a few holes here, but those will get automatically closed up. I think we have a pretty great reference.
There we go. You can get out of the way, and then we have a lot of foam. Come on out.
Oh yeah, it's having a way better time with this than the black carpet.
After some time in CAD, the front sub enclosure is finally done. So we can look at it right here. It's absolutely massive. We have all the details of the passenger footwell right there. And then you turn it around and boom, there we have a little sub enclosure. We'll probably have to put some like a board or something on the front so that it's nice and flat, but we're gonna worry about that later. In the meantime, we need to get this on the printer because it's going to take freaking forever. So this right here, we need to do it 2 times because it's just way too big to fit even on the Prusa XL. And you can see this right here, and that is going to take 1 day and 4 hours. So absolutely massive shout out to LTT who lent us a 0.6 millimeter nozzle for our XL because with the 0.4 that we currently have on there, it was gonna take like 4 days in total. So this is pretty cool. Let's swap this over. After nearly 3 days of printing and 2.5 spools of filament later, we have our sub enclosure here. One thing we did do to help this be a bit more reliable is connect the printer to the Jackery here, just so that if there was a brownout or a power outage, we wouldn't lose days of printing. All right, come on off here. Oh, that's separated from the supports, no problem. Sick.
That's a big piece.
Yeah, it's a big piece of 3D print. Looking at it, I do kind of wish that we'd made these walls a tiny bit thicker and also we'd been able to use more infill. It's only 30% with gyroidal stuff, but it's just so much filament and so much time, so we'll have to try and make this a bit stronger now. Quick little test fit here. Do these all go together? Seems like it. Hell yeah. Oh my God, this is so big. Before I do too much processing with this, I just want to make sure that it fits physically in here. That would be pretty tragic if it didn't. Oh, not a problem. That fits perfectly. We probably don't even need to attach it, but we will. Like that's just in there. Okay, how does this look? Oh, it's gonna be crazy. That's the vision right there. Hell yeah. Because this sounds pretty hollow, I'm going to be adding some sound deadening to it and hoping that that helps us out. If it doesn't do enough, then I don't know, we'll have to throw a bunch of epoxy on it or something to really seal it up. As far as I can tell, no one's 3D printed a front sub before, so we're kind of just winging it. Like there's no guide. All of the professionals still use fiberglass and wood and things, so we're innovating. After 2 to 3 layers of sound editing in there, it's sounding a whole lot better. And now I need to attach these two together. I think it's gonna be rather difficult. Our clamps are not quite big enough, so my plan is to ratchet strap it together after we send a whole bunch of JB weld in there. I did sand it and prep it a little bit, so hopefully it'll grab. Andy, do you want to put down the camera and help me?
Sure. What do we do?
This has to get spread over the whole thing, and the second that it starts getting mixed together, we have 6 minutes to do it all. Smells like fish.
So I do this side, you do that side?
Sure.
Yeah. I'll put this. Oh my god, the smell. Ugh.
This is something else. To protect the front sub, we need a grill. Now, I went ahead and designed this little zip tie speaker grill right here, and we're gonna cut it on the good old laser. I absolutely love having a laser now. We are going to do it out of just simple birch plywood because I looked at acrylic and at Home Depot it's gonna be like $260 for a sheet. So I'll need to bulk buy some from like an actual plastic supplier later, but for now, this piece of plywood was $7, so much more economical for something we're never gonna see again.
Prototyping.
Yeah, rapid prototyping, absolutely love it. Thank you, Creality. Okay, start. Oh, that's gonna take a while. And now we just wait. I could probably make this go way faster, but for wood, it just absolutely loves being horrible and not uniform at all. So I'd much rather just know that it's gonna work.
Also, I won't give you a time lapse because I don't want to burn my sensor.
That's probably fine for your sensor, but yeah, let's just not. Can you start to see the vision, Andy? It seemed like it might be able to not look absolutely terrible at some point in time.
A little bit.
A little bit? It's gonna be a lot of sanding, but she's gonna come together. The smart thing to do right now would be to just use the random orbital to get all of the sanding done on this, but it's taking a little bit of a while and patience is not a virtue that I have, so I'm gonna try this. All right, Andy, what do you think?
Wow, that looks like a finished product now.
Yeah, it's not too bad, eh? I did way more work making this nice and smooth compared to the A pillars, just because we are going to be painting it and we want that to look nice and good. So, should we paint it?
Let's do it.
Hell yeah. For the paint, the plan is to hit it with some black primer first, and then go over it with some truck bed liner, because that stuff is just super duper durable, waterproof, and you don't have to worry about afterwards. It's kind of cold out, so I guess we're just gonna hope for the best. That's thicker than I intended. Well, it was way too thick of a coat and also the thinnest that I could possibly do, so let's wait for it to dry. Painting in the winter is such a joy. Man, our poor laser, frickin' everything in here is so dusty. But it was successful. Here's our little speaker grill, and this also needs some paint. 2 coats of primer, and now it's truck bed liner time. That's a lot of big drops. This stuff is not coming out very pretty. Frig, it's probably just way too cold. Oh, with any luck, as that dries, those huge drops will kind of go away, but also we're never gonna see this again, so it just needs to be rugged. The paint has dried, and I think that the box is looking pretty freaking good. It's not perfect, but for something we're never gonna see again, I think it's pretty dang good. I also put some heat set inserts in here so that we can, you know, attach the subwoofer and the grill. And I also went ahead and wired it up. So we just have a little XT90 connector right there. And I absolutely full sent it with the E6000 adhesive to make sure that it just doesn't leak any air at all. I don't want this to be leaking and have to go back in after it. So we have so much industrial adhesive all over this thing.
Smells great.
Yeah, it smells fantastic. Now all that we need to get the front sub working is to add yet another amp. For that I have the DP 1.500 from Hertz. This is a mono amplifier that should give us just enough power, and it should sound pretty good while we're at it. Andy, do you want to have a chat about amps and stuff? So in here, I already have, what, 3 amps? And I was kind of thinking that we could remake this entire amp rack board so that this one could go on it and this one also could go on it, but this project has been so friggin' much work already. I'm kind of leaning towards we just don't.
Put it on the other side of the sub.
Yeah, I think we just stick it right there on this side of the sub and everything should be good. This looks a little bit sketchy, but it's actually totally fine. One thing that I definitely want to do though is upgrade the power cable going in, because right now it might not quite be enough. I forgot that there's some speaker connections here. Oh, that fits. I think we just do that, Andy. I don't think we need to remake this whole thing.
That's not.
Yeah, I'm super down to not. Holy frig, do I ever need to wash my car? Drove to Kelowna over the weekend, frickin' just slushed the whole way, frickin' smashed my windshield again. I just shouldn't do these videos because both time I've done an audio upgrade, I've smashed the windshield for some reason.
You did?
Yeah.
That's a brand new one.
Yeah, this is like a 2-month-old windshield and I already have a big old crack in it.
God, that's a power cable? Yeah. I thought that's like for washing your car.
No, this is not a hose. This right here is the 1-gauge power cable that New Concepts was nice enough to send over. So
holy crap.
We're going from 4-gauge in here, which is already pretty big, but we have 4 amps now. So, you know, we might want to upgrade it a bit. Oh man, I hope that like fits through like the door sills and stuff. That's massive.
Good luck.
We'll make it work. Yeah, it'll go in one way or another. Okay, Andy, you know how you're just at Aptera and they were like, copper in your car actually adds up to a lot of weight? Just hold this. It's so heavy. To get this wire out, I need to take the battery tray out. And to take the battery tray out, I need to take the intake out. And I actually have a new intake. So Andy, should we just upgrade that while we're at it?
Yeah, sure.
Hell yeah. Got that, there we go. And of course a little raggy rag so I don't accidentally drop a 10 mil in the engine. To upgrade my intake, I am changing over to the exact same intake, except for the correct car. The only real difference here is this little bungy bung. This one's for a Golf R, which doesn't have secondary air. Golf GTIs do have secondary air, so they need this little guy right here. I just 3D printed an adapter, but I wouldn't strongly recommend doing that, but if you do it out of a strong material, it should be fine. It's held up for like 2 years like that. Not bad. There we go. There's a lot of crap in there, which I guess brings us to the filter sock that I got. The filter I had was gray or black, right? And not just that dirty. I think they're different filters. I'm pretty sure they're different. I really hope they're different. Oh dear, this one, no, this one might have been white. Oh, yeah, we really need to clean that. By the way, huge shout out to VW. They know you're going to just do absolute nonsense to their Golf, so they actually have a grommet from the factory right in there that you can just use for passing wires through the firewall. Absolute G's. Got the old cable, bunch of tuck tape, new cable, and hopefully we just pull it out through the front and it doesn't release. Beauty. Oh, that was so easy. I still can't get over how big this is. Very fortunately, when I originally did the audio system in this, I didn't know the difference between A&L and mini A&L fuses and got this absolutely honkin' A&L fuse right here, which is good because it easily supports the 0 gauge wire that we're putting into here. So that's cool. Look at how big it is though.
It matches the cable.
Yep, certainly matches the cable. All right. Can you guys tell that at this point in the video, we've huffed way too many Bondo fumes? Yeah, this isn't a particularly easy cable to run, but I think she's gonna fit.
See it?
Yay. Okay, so I need to cut it right about there. The wiring's all done and now we just need to install the front sub. To hold it in, there's these holes right here in the floor, and I'm thinking that I'll just use some of these toggle bolts right here that normally you'd use to hold your walls together, but it should hold a front sub in no problem. I stuffed some foam into the holes, so with any luck, this toggle will stay in the place that it needs to while we put the sub in, and if it doesn't, I'll just super glue these in. There we go. I really hope that these stay in. Actually, they're not going to. All right, super glue. I added a tiny bit of foam to the back of this. The fit's super tight, so with any luck, it still goes in with the foam. Power going in. XT90 connectors are pretty sick. All right, come on. Oh, this bolt doesn't quite line up.
What you doing?
I'm just massaging some bolts. I couldn't quite get them in. The bolts are in, and before I tighten them down, I'm just gonna absolutely send it with the E6000 around them to make sure that there aren't any leaks. Over those bolts, I'm just gonna throw some sound deadening to be extra sure that there's no way that they can leak. Probably some like flex tape or something would be better to use here, but this is what we got. Man, that's friggin' in there. That is not moving an inch.
You're shaking my camera.
Yeah, it's not moving a millimeter. I'm moving the car instead of the box. It is finally time for the woofer to go in. I am so friggin' excited.
That looks great.
Yeah. Yep, there we go. The reason that I went with this woofer from SB Acoustics is because it was recommended by PS Sound for its excellent ability to play up higher than most subs. Like, a lot of subs are designed to get super low and dig deep, but they don't necessarily play those higher mid-bass notes as well, just because that's not what they're made to do. Front sub is in. I was super excited to get it powered up and totally forgot that we don't have a battery intake, so let's do that. Oh, we're so close. I can nearly taste it, Andy. Intake's in, looking all nice and clean, and we can power it on. Oh, I'm a bit... Okay, with any luck, the front sub's now working. Haha. So there it is. And that's all it's gonna be doing. All right, it works. Now we just need to put the grill on. This was an incredibly tight fit before. And I think with just a tiny bit of paint, it's gonna be really, really tough to get on.
You need to have some sort of sign, like not to kick that area.
Yeah, I might remake this out of aluminum in the future to, I don't know if that's gonna hold up to someone standing on it.
No.
I don't think so. Okay, it's looking pretty darn good. It's not the sturdiest in the world, but it's gonna do the trick for now, I think. To put this carpet back on, I first want some foam over here, sort of just for the side of the footwell. So here's my plan. This, see when it's all back together. Never say that I'm not willing to do crazy stuff to improve the sound quality of my car. There we go. Very nice. The car's all back together. The passenger footwell looks pretty good. We lost maybe 1.5 inches of passenger footwell space, which, not a huge deal. And I think it looks passable. I might massage the carpet a tiny bit more later, but it's pretty good, I think. For tuning, I'm going to be using a U-Mic 2 and Dirac Live. It's awesome for getting you a really quick tune that's pretty freaking good, although it is a bit of a black box, so fine-tuning can be a bit more of an art than a science. Tuning in general could be its whole own video, which is exactly what we're gonna do, just not on this channel. It's gonna be on DMS's, because we're gonna go and say hi to him, hopefully before this video goes out. We'll see. All right, the measurements are done and it's looking pretty good. I'm gonna do a Harman curve, so plus 12 dB in the bass, and PS Sound says to just leave it flat in the treble, so I'm gonna give that a try, see if I like it or not. Maybe I'll drop the treble a tiny bit later. So here's our tweeters. They're looking perfectly fine right there. Same with the mids. They're covering the mids fantastically. You can really see why those are needed, because the woofers and the doors are just an absolute mess, right from like 300 to 1000K. Like, it's just a complete nightmare up here. But Where it's interesting is the sub. So we can see, here's the one in the back, and between 50 and 100 hertz, it's just like, there's a big old valley, there's a big peak at 40, it's kind of a mess. Whereas if we look at the front sub here, we can see where we want it from 40 to about like 90 hertz. It's pretty much flat, so hopefully that'll give us what we want in our mid bass. So I'm gonna go ahead and export this, and then we can give it a listen. All right, we finally get to give it a listen here, and my expectations are very high. This has been such an incredible amount of work that I will only be happy if it is the best sound system I've ever heard in a car, which might not be the most reasonable, but like the Volvo sound systems, the Mercedes Burmester, like I want to be able to beat that right here. So let's have a little sniff. I can tell you that the highs and the mids already kill those, and we can add the rear speakers back in, I think. Ah, they're a bit hot. Okay, it sounds pretty freaking good, I can tell you that. This is the bit where the sub would get a bit messy before, so. Oh, it's so crispy! Yeah. It's so just absolutely clean. Oh, hell yeah! All right, am I peeking the mic yet, Andy? Okay. Oh, we need more sub. That's pretty freaking good. Hell yeah. Okay, let's try out some other songs that we can listen to. That goes hard!
Sitting on the passenger side, I don't feel like I'm losing a whole lot of like space, but I just feels like my feet is getting massaged every time like there's like a vibration. I can feel it like from my feet.
Sweet.
It's like boom, and my feet just vibrate.
I'm gonna have to try that. All right, for the people, we'll do a crab rave. Very clean. We were already like at clarity levels before where crab rave you can tell. All right, it's exceptional. This is amazing. It is easily the best sound system I've ever heard in my life in a car. It's so wide too. The rear speakers help a lot with that. All right.
Alright, let's switch mode and you fill this up here.
Okay, one sec. We need to hit the big drop here at the end.
Oh yeah, right.
All right, swap. It's definitely like positionally a lot better in the driver's seat. Oh, you can really feel it. We're not even in bass yet, and you, like, the hair on my legs is like moving. All right, this is my.
Here we go, let's go.
Oh wow! You can really feel that in your toes. Oh my god! That's silly! That's really funny! The chassis rigidity is definitely like the limits of the bass, like for the rear. It's crazy.
It's like the woo, like the whole car just like shake.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's so good. Hell yeah, and it can be better with frickin' DMS and his 100 hats. Okay, we're gonna play some real songs that I know sounded pretty messy before, so let's see how those go. It's so clean. Now for the final and most decisive test though. What happens when an East Coaster listens to some Ron Haynes? It sounds really freaking good. Ron Hines, how have you done it? How, Sonny, how could you? The sound system's incredible. And also, it's incredible that you made it to the end of the video. Huge thanks for watching. Hit like, get subscribed, and maybe do something absolutely bonkers to your car that's outside of your skill level. Because if you do it twice like these A pillars, maybe you'll do a good job. Have a great old day. Oh, and our Patreon's down below.